Hey everybody, Jordan here. Today is Monday night, the 25th of January, 2017. I want to thank you for joining us on this weekly training call. And tonight, I want to talk about life as an entrepreneur. And, when you read the title of this call, it probably conjured up an image of a life of freedom, fun, maybe travel, and all that. Although that is a real possibility for you and your family, there's another side to it. Do you ever see the photo of that iceberg protruding out of the water where below the water line is a giant mass of ice that part above the water is only about 1/10 the size of the entire iceberg, so you don't see what's below the water that represents 90% of the iceberg? Well, this is as it is as an entrepreneur. There's an enormous amount of work, creativity, resourcefulness, ingenuity, relationship building, networking, and that's what's required before the financial rewards and freedom come. You do a ton of work up front for little to no pay to get paid handsomely for years doing little to no work. And although you'll probably choose to continue working because it's so rewarding, you don't. At one point later on down the road, you may not have to work quite so hard. As you look back, you'll realize you'd probably do it all over again because it was worth it. But as you're going through it, you sometimes question your own judgment, and your family and your friends will probably question your sanity. They may even mock you. And you have to believe so strongly in your heart that you're doing the right thing for you and your family that the comments from others really don't matter that much. You have to know to your core that you're doing something that's good in the world for you and for others, and you would never, ever even consider throwing in the towel over the opinions of others. So as an entrepreneur, you'll experience a roller coaster of emotion. Get ready for the highest highs and the lowest lows. Lots of you on this call have already experienced that. As an entrepreneur, you'll have to make some of the toughest decisions of your life, and you'll have some of the most rewarding times of your life as well. You may go from being really depressed to ecstatic in the same day. You may be encouraged and discouraged in the same hour. You might be surprised by a breakthrough and let down by a setback all in the same week. It's just kind of how it goes as the life of an entrepreneur. That's just kind of how it goes. So as we enter into this conversation tonight, I want to read a couple of pages from a book I'm reading now, and it's called Clay, Water, and Brick. And it's written by Jessica Jackley. Carolyn, Carolyn and Dean, they're senior managers. Carolyn gave me this book, and Jessica Jackley, her TED Talk was one of the most inspiring TED Talks that I'd ever heard, and I told her that when she told me she was getting ready to meet Jessica, and she sent me a card with a picture of her and Jessica along with a signed book from Jessica Jackley. I highly recommend that even tonight you take 16 minutes and watch Jessica's, get your box of tissues out, but watch Jessica's TED Talk. It's probably one of the most inspiring TED Talks ever done, and I will put the link. You can Google it, but I'll put the link in the summary. So as you listen to this, as I read from her book, I want you to ask yourself what excuses that you may have been making up about why you're not successful and what are the reasons you're being held back or not rising to your full potential. Is it because of time or because of money? Is it because you don't have the time or you don't have enough money? Is it because you don't possess the financial resources or the environment that you grew up in? Maybe it was your environment that's keeping you from being successful. What's holding you back from achieving your dreams? Are you too old? Are you maybe too young? Is it the people you know or the people that you don't know that are keeping you from moving forward? Maybe it's your past or maybe your current circumstances. What are the obstacles that are in your way? And so as I read from Jessica's book, I'm just going to read two very short pages from her book, and then we'll talk about some of this. So this is from Jessica's book. While I arrived in East Africa with a spark of interest in entrepreneurship, the people I met there fanned that spark into an intense blaze. They inspired the creation of Kiva, and they have served as a source of motivation for me every day since. In fact, what I learned and continue to learn from the Patricks of the world influences my thinking on the topic of entrepreneurship in a way nothing else has. They embody my favorite definition of entrepreneurship, which comes from the Harvard Business School professor Howard Stevenson. Entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunity without regard to resources currently controlled. In other words, entrepreneurship is the ability to pursue opportunity without money or permission or pedigree or most other means that might make the pursuit easier. Stevenson emphasizes the pursuit without regard to possessions. As I see it, his definition hints at this truth. The heart of entrepreneurship is never about what we have. It's about what we do. I thought I understood this before hearing firsthand stories like Patrick's, but I didn't. Perhaps it was seeing firsthand stories like Patrick's. Perhaps it was seeing firsthand the extremely tough circumstances in which those entrepreneurs thrived, circumstances that included objectively few resources, vastly less than even the scrappiest startup in Silicon Valley garage would have, that finally made me understand the power of this concept. I had encountered living proof that even someone living in a mud hut could launch a venture. I now knew that even a person who had not been formally educated past grade school could start a micro-enterprise and make a modest living from it. I'd come face to face with real people who, despite their lack of experience, expertise, power, money, popularity, or approval, had succeeded on their own terms as entrepreneurs. I met Patrick, who had only the dirt beneath his bare feet and yet chose to act, building his business brick by brick. I became convinced that great entrepreneurs have this in common. They simply make a series of choices day after day to move forward regardless of what they lack or must fight against. It was thanks to this realization that I began to envision a new path for myself as well. I came to truly believe that if I worked hard enough and chose to keep pushing myself forward despite my own weaknesses, disadvantages, and obstacles, maybe I could become an entrepreneur too. Now this is Jessica Jackley is a co-founder in the organization Kiva. The website is kiva.org, and Kiva is the organization that I have given 100% of the profits from the sale of my book Beach Money to. And she's the writer of the book. So again, I have to emphasize that the challenge, actually, before I go there, being an entrepreneur, it means taking what you have or what you don't have and working with it. As soon as you label yourself as an entrepreneur, you've identified yourself as a resourceful person. That means you figure it out. You find the necessary resources, support, people, and the money to get the job done. You learn to believe in yourself and take calculated chances. Being an entrepreneur is not for everyone, but for those people that refuse to give up on their dreams, it is the best and the only option. For those people not willing to settle, being an entrepreneur offers hope. So again, I have to emphasize that challenge comes with the territory. Challenge exposes the problems and issues that need to be solved. Entrepreneurs are not quitters. They take each new challenge as an entrepreneur as an opportunity to grow. So here's one for you. The more successful you are as an entrepreneur, the more challenges will emerge on your journey. In other words, if you're not experiencing challenges, you're not growing. You're not growing, and neither is your business. A lack of challenges means lack of growth. Challenges are your benchmarks. If you've chosen to become an entrepreneur to get rid of your challenges, you've chosen the wrong profession. Your greatest vulnerabilities, character flaws, and weaknesses will be revealed. And when they are, you'll be called to figure out how to handle them. It may mean personally transforming yourself or finding someone else that can do what you need to do, finding someone else that you need to, that can do what you need to get done better than you. So as an entrepreneur, you only lose if you stop, because each setback is a chance to learn and to grow. Quitting is not in the vocabulary of a true entrepreneur. And you're willing to go through all this because you know that you're doing something worthwhile that can make the world a better place. Sometimes you see it before most of the others in your life see it. And when those closest to you reject your ideas, it can hurt. I know, when my father rejected my ideas of becoming a success in network marketing and making a contribution in that way, he rejected those ideas for years, and it hurts. But it doesn't dissuade you because you're committed to your cause and you're committed to seeing the job through. So being an entrepreneur means taking 100% responsibility. That means not blaming anyone else for your shortcomings or your problems. You've heard, if it is to be, it's up to me. Remember Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. As an entrepreneur, no longer can you blame it on your company, on your comp plan, on your upline, or your downline. You'll need to transform it. You'll need to go through it. You'll need to go over it, or you'll need to go around it, or you'll need to accept it. And then, as an entrepreneur, you come up with a solution that makes the situation better. You'll never hear a true entrepreneur blame other people for their lack of success. So the comment, I don't have an upline, doesn't work anymore. You be the upline. Or if you're distraught because there are no meetings in your area, you start the meetings. Or if no one on your team in the business is doing anything, you find out how to find the right people, infuse inspiration into those people or into your group, and create the growth. So taking 100% responsibility means if something's not working, you find the resources to make it work, or you accept it and come up with another solution. Now, this call was entitled Life as an Entrepreneur, and you probably expected me to talk about flying around the world on private jets and renting expensive yachts for parties on the bay. Well, that can be part of your journey if you choose to create that as your future, but really, the life of an entrepreneur is about you designing your life the way you want it to be and then having the freedom to create it through the development of your business. You don't have to answer to anyone because you call the shots. You live where you want to live. You work as little or you work as much as you want to, whenever you want to, wherever you want to. You pick who you choose to work with and what you're going to be doing with them. You get to design your personal and professional life. The life of an entrepreneur entails being bold enough to dream bigger and having the courage to step into those dreams. Now, there's not a successful entrepreneur on the planet that hasn't experienced the ups and the downs on his or her journey. We all have dreams, but most people give up on those dreams fairly early and fairly easily, and many don't have the fortitude to continue despite those setbacks and obstacles. That is why only a few people get to experience the rewards of the big money and the free time, because so few people are willing to work through those obstacles and face their fears and step into their dreams. You know, when I reflect back on my early 30s, I remember how distraught I used to feel every 2 weeks when I would get my paycheck after 15 years of work and a college degree. I was in my 30s and my paycheck was so small. I remember the pit in my stomach, the knots in my stomach. I had anxiety every time I went to work. I hated Sunday mornings. I hated Sundays, rather, and I hated Mondays, and I hated Thursdays. Hate's a pretty strong word, but you know what? They were just really, really not fun days. Sundays meant I had to go to work tomorrow. Mondays was the beginning of the week. Thursdays were better, but not so great. Fridays were okay because tomorrow was Saturday. But then I never had enough money to do the things I wanted to do. I wanted to experience the world, and a lot of my working life was gone just scraping by. I was inspired by so many entrepreneurs, and I wanted to live like them. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to serve people on a larger scale. And the job plan just wasn't cutting it for me. I felt like I was burning daylight. I had to get better as an entrepreneur, and I had to take responsibility as a producer and not just as a consumer. So life as an entrepreneur means being in charge of your destiny, designing your own life, declaring your future, being responsible for your results and the results of your business. You work when you want to, yes. You choose your own team and play as big as you choose to play. You accept your wins and your losses. You know that your losses represent your opportunity to learn and to grow. You take responsibility and you step into your future even though sometimes you're afraid and don't know what lies ahead. You seek adventure and uncertainty. Sometimes that's easier said than done. I can say I seek uncertainty, and then when uncertainty glares me in the face, I wonder if that's really what I want. But it's in the uncertainty that great things happen. It's because the uncertainty is out of your comfort zone. It's new ground for you and for everybody else. You choose to live life on your terms without the boundaries imposed by others. So what I'd like to do as we wrap the call up tonight is I'd like to give you some I am statements that can support you as an entrepreneur. And I'm going to do 20 of them, and feel free to adopt them if they resonate with you. But these are I am statements that can support an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you may find them to be helpful. If you step into these I am statements as if they embody you, not sometime in the future, but now. So here you go. Number 1, I am an entrepreneur. Number 2, I design my own life. Number 3, I create my future. Number 4, I am a creator of value. Number 5, I take responsibility for my future. Number 6, if there's something that I don't like that is in the way of my growth, I eliminate it, I go around it, or I transform it. Number 7, I am resourceful. Number 8, I am a problem solver. Number 9, I accept challenges as a way to learn and grow. Number 10, I expect to win. Number 11, I attract great people into my business. Number 12, I am a producer. Number 13, I am living my highest purpose. Number 14, I am making a difference in the world. Number 15, I am living my dreams today. Number 16, I am getting better every day. Number 17, I own this. Number 18, I am a dream broker. Number 19, I am courageous and bold. And number 20, I am an entrepreneur. So with that, we're going to finish up a little bit early tonight. I want to thank you all for being on the call. I hope this was fun for you. I know it was for me.